Orgasmic enlightenment, where the sexual and spiritual come together. I'm Kim Anami, and I'm a holistic sex and relationship coach and a vaginal weightlifter. In this show, we explore all things intimate. I believe that our sexual energy is life force, creative energy, and we can use it to shape our worlds, strengthen our relationships, and self-actualize. I blend the most avant-garde information from neuroscience, ancient sexual practices like Tantra and Taoism, to renegade wellness modalities to show you how to create gourmet sex in your lives. Come one, come all. I'm wealthy because I'm well fucked. My vagina makes money. It didn't always, though. There was a time when it was an energetic vortex, a break-even, hand-to-mouth zone, but not, in a sexual way. The turning point for me was about 25 years ago. What happened? I got well fucked. Let me be clear that I'd had a number of very deep, cataclysmic sexual experiences up to that point. I'd cured addictions, I'd lost weight, I'd remedied depression, I'd had psychedelic cervical orgasms. But I hadn't quite pulled together the sex, money, vocation thing yet. I was kinda on the trail, but hadn't broken through. What happened in my late 20s is that I entered into a relationship with a man who would change my life. Why? Because sex was the absolute focus of our experiences. We used our sex life to work through our stuff, to alchemize our issues and transcend them. The container of our relationship and our bed became the place to exorcise all of our demons. We welcomed them. We sought them out. We hunted those motherfuckers down and brought them into the bed, into the fighting ring, facing them, dueling them until we forced them to do circus tricks and dance for their supper. Until they became not only harmless, but they began to work for us. We integrated them into our beings and they became our strengths. Our whole relationship was focused on using the power of our sexual connection to heal, expose our deepest and most vulnerable parts, the things we might fear and have power over us, and smash those motherfuckers to bits. Until all that was left was the most pure versions of who we were. I rarely, if ever, talk publicly about my intimate relationships. For one, I believe that this is a sacred space and not for general consumption. But in the WellFked Woman Salon, I go deeply into my dynamic with this man and how we used our relationship to heal and self-actualize. So, what does this all have to do with being rich? Everything, bitch. Think about the concept of flow. Anything in you that facilitates flow, being in the zone, opening up to the creative brilliance of yourself and the universe is going to lubricate your life. Anything that blocks your flow, that limits you, suppresses you, is going to dull your life force and make you less effective and less attractive, both in a beauty sense, but in a major way in terms of being able to attract things into your life. When you become a fearless fucker, that translates into every part of your existence as a larger-than-life courage, a boldness, and risk-taking. No risk, no reward. Nothing in life is truer than this. Life rewards those who dare. So yes, you can fuck away your money blocks, your beauty blocks, as in whatever's holding you back from fully owning and basking in your innate gorgeousness. You can fuck away your low self-confidence. You can alchemize your trauma, take your demons and fuck them up the ass and send them packing. But before you do, you assimilate the gifts that are the truth underneath what you fear in them. You dared to face them and go there, and so they concede. They forfeit and they hand over the wisdom you've now earned. Well, fuckedness is not for the faint of heart, and it's not that easily earned. It takes effort and discipline and commitment, just like a fit body. You show up every day and you put in the work, and the play until it becomes a way of life. A fit body is a massive flex because it shows everyone what you are made of: grit and self-discipline, a massive amount of self-love and self-respect, a level of superhuman inner strength to hold the course. I was in the gym yesterday working out, and this gorgeous woman in her early to mid-40s came in, and her physique was impeccable. Her movements were graceful and massively confident because she knows her worth. Her inner strength was reflected in her outer body. I told her she looked amazing, and we had a mutual admiration gushing moment of, I know you. Inside, we are the same. The WellFked woman carries the same unmistakable, unfuckwithable energy. I went deep, I faced my demons, I conquered and slayed those motherfuckers, and this is what I've created. You can't touch this, but you can touch it all over. I'm untouchable, but for those who get close to me, you can touch it and penetrate it every which way. A well-fucked woman can open in ways that the poor, underfucked population can't even comprehend. I always say that I pity the man who loses a well-fucked woman. He will never forget her, because no woman can open like her and take him to the places that she can. I always say that I pity the man who loses a well-fucked woman. He will never forget her, and he will never replace her, because no woman can open like her and take him to the places that she can. You show up in the world fully fucked, fully fuckable, fully open, and letting life deeply penetrate you, and of course, your man. The secret to making cash is knowing that money is an energetic exchange with the universe. And what does the universe want in this exchange? You. The most unfiltered, uncensored, uninhibited version of you. Showing up in the world and giving the gifts of you. We do this by living a life that's honest, bold, courageous, and tapping into our own unique expression of exactly who we are and then amplifying that. This is learning to let go of preconceived ideas of who you think you should be, of how you ought to express, fears of what other people will think of you or what they'll say about you. Shitting all over that. And coming into direct contact and only being loyal to the deepest truth of who you are. You show up in that unbridled joy and pleasure, and the universe moves mountains and opens doors and removes obstacles to light your path. And it gives you the means to do this through magical opportunities, helpful people, and loads of cash. The more you let go of all that isn't you and you amplify what is, all of your life choices reflect this inner alignment. Your relationships, your friendships, your work, and vocation. Everything gets refined to a more pure expression of your essence. When this happened for me, that's when the floodgates of cash opened up. I'll give you a big example of this. I first created my WellFked Woman Salon back in 2012. At this time, the only people in the sexual space were doctors who would put their lab coats on to go on Oprah and only speak in clinical terms with charts and bar graphs and the like. And then you had this giggly, juvenile, Cosmo, cheesy people. And then I came along. I'd had an online presence for over a decade at that point on the Old Testaments of blog post and Tumblr. I'd been doing my work as a sex coach for over a decade. I wanted to make online programs to take everything to the next level and connect with my audience that I was now building internationally. So I created the WellFked Woman Salon. Then it came time for the name. I'd been talking about the concept of the well-fucked woman for at least a decade already. I'd written an article in Playboy about it, but to name a public program Fuck Anything was a big step. What's funny is that now the concept of being well-fucked has entered into the vernacular as a term. This is the trademarked language that I came up with, and I built this whole course and concept around. It's now gained such cultural momentum that people just use it as an everyday adjective. But years ago, to put profanity in a title and this program was unheard of. And for some people, it still is unheard of. I ran the name past a yoga teacher, friend, colleague of mine, someone who is huge in the international yoga community. She said that if I called it the WellFked Woman, she wouldn't be comfortable recommending it to her following. She suggested going with a name like Attentive Listening Woman. That was literally what she said instead. And that's when I knew that I absolutely had to go for it. I had to be as true to myself as I could be and trust that whoever got it, and the people who needed a more tepid voice and message like Attentive Listening Woman would find that what they were looking for elsewhere. So I went for it. I talked about the history of the WellFked Woman meme. I made a video series to promote the course. And as I was filming the first video in the series, I could feel I was a bit creatively stuck. I didn't have a flow. So I went and fucked myself. And then I came back to record, and lo and behold, everything flowed. I shared in that video that I had just been royally fucking myself because, sex is medicine, and I just took mine. That energy was palpable. I still love that video because it's raw and magical, and I am imbued with my WellFked glow. And then the cash came rolling in. In 3 weeks, I made more money than I'd normally made in half a year, and it's kept growing since then. But that was a huge lesson for me in being as true to my voice as I could be all the time, especially in the big things. But the small things are also very important. The vibration of truth reaches out and resonates with people. If you are shrinking or hiding behind fear of judgment, of being too much, you fuck yourself, and not in the good way. You cock block the universe from giving to you. The universe has no interest in you playing small. And look, not everyone's expression is going to look like mine. You have to find out what yours looks like. And you do that in your vagina. What is in your vagina and your sex organs? All of the DNA of who you are, the blueprint for your deepest self. When you connect to that energy, when you activate it, you embody the full power and essence of you. It's all housed in your reproductive organs. So the more you activate your sexual energy and you own it, embody it, wear it, you show up as the most self-realized version of who you are. And then shit gets real and fun. The universe is like, bring it, bitch. And you're like, oh, I am bringing it, bitch. And the universe is like, I'm going to rain down cash on you. And so it is. It is this glorious mix of being well fucked and learning to channel your sexual energy into your creativity and your life and boldness that make the magic happen. And the wonderful thing is that the more well fucked you are, the bolder and more courageous you become. I always talk about how one of the main hallmarks of being a well fucked woman or person is that you stop giving a shit what anyone thinks of you. You don't try not to care, you just don't care. You own your truth and your vision, and these are all of what you live by. Nothing else matters. Everything you need to master your sexual healing, self-expression, and yoni cash manifesting skills are all in my WellFked Woman Salon, which is open now and closes for registration tonight. In this 10-week online salon, we cover how to use your sexual energy to manifest men, money, and miracles in your life, step-by-step instructions for the deeper vaginal orgasms, G-spot, cervical, and squirting, which, as you know, I guarantee that all women can have. Breast massage to tone, lift, and activate the orgasmic potential of the breasts. How to transform challenging menstruation, PMS, and menopause into the blissful portals they were always meant to be. Natural lubrication from the inside out, and cock whispering tutorials and Nami style in oral and manual pleasure for him. Like I said, men really don't leave a well-fucked woman. I mean, why would they? It's more like the other way around. And then if a man is bereft and has lost himself a well-fucked woman, he will lament that loss for the rest of his life. So come on over to kimanami.com/wet and register now to become a well-fucked woman. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, and send somebody else the gift of a multi-orgasmic and transformational love life by sharing this episode with them. If you'd like to go deeper into all things orgasms, sign up for my free Orgasmopedia series, where you'll learn about 9 different types of orgasms everyone can have. Go to kimanami.com and you'll see the sign up there. Come one, come all.